What is going on, you guys, and welcome to another install and review video. And today, as the thumbnail suggests, we are going to be installing a steering wheel on the 370Z. This is a modification I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. I really love the look of the VQ Vortex wheels, but I just haven't wanted to pay the full price that they are asking for them, and there's been other more important modifications that I've been trying to do. But back in September, I found out that there was a guy named Jalisco Carbon Fiber on Instagram. You can also follow him on Facebook as well. He's under Jalisco Q50. He has been making similar steering wheels, very similar in design, with similar quality, but they are at a much more affordable price, starting at less than $500. If you guys are interested in getting a steering wheel for your car, give him a follow on Instagram or on Facebook and private message him. He will be able to set up a quote for you. There's a lot of customizations you can do with his wheels, guys. You've got optional thumb grips that you can install. I had mine done in honeycomb carbon fiber, as well as white leather to match the rest of the car. A really unique steering wheel, something I haven't seen on any other vehicle, and I can't wait to get it installed, so let's go ahead and get started, guys. So the first thing you are going to want to do, and really what you should be doing anytime you're messing with electronics in the car, is you'll want to go ahead and unplug your battery. To do this, you just go ahead and loosen up the negative terminal on the car, and then go ahead and just unscrew the negative terminal, get it loose enough so that you can just pull it off of the negative terminal. Car's electronics will of course turn off, and then you should be ready to work on the car. This is to prevent like the airbag from going off or anything while you're working on the car. That's extremely dangerous if you're working on your steering wheel and you don't unplug your negative terminal. So make sure that is unplugged before you begin working on it. So now with the battery terminal unplugged and there's no risk that the airbag's going to go off, we can begin to uninstall the stock wheel. Before we get started, you need to make sure that the steering wheel is perfectly in the upright position. You want it to be straight, that way when you install your new wheel, it'll still be aligned properly. And the first thing we're going to do is on either side of the wheel, there is going to be a plastic bolt cover where the bolts will sit. You can see those right here. All you need to do is stick a flathead underneath this button, and you should be able to pry these off really easily. So with those plastic covers removed, you want to make sure you put them aside somewhere where you won't lose them. I end up just throwing everything in the cup holder. And then you're going to need to get a T27 Torx bit to be able to get those bolts off. Unfortunately, they don't have a hex head to them, you can't use a socket. And this also can be a bit tricky. If it's the first time you're removing the steering wheel, those bolts are going to be on there fairly tight, and it may be really difficult to get them to loosen up. So you may end up needing to use a socket, which you can put around the end of the bit there to give you a little more torque to be able to get these off. Fortunately, I've taken this off once before, so they aren't on there too tight. If you do happen to drop a bolt behind the plastic, don't worry about it, you'll be getting it back here in a second. So with both of those bolts unthreaded, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and take the entire airbag assembly and pull it out. Don't tug on it too hard, because there are still a ton of wires here behind the airbag, and we need to undo all of these before we can remove it completely. So on the back here you will see this yellow and orange terminal. You need to undo both of these by sticking a really small flathead behind the black center part and pull that black piece up. When that black plastic is pulled up, you'll be able to actually undo the entire plug. And then there's also another plug that sits further in the back. You can use a flathead to press on the top of that to be able to loosen the plug and pull it out completely. Here's what they look like when the black piece has been pulled up. Once you've done that, all you need to do is pull on them very gently and you can pull them right out. And then we just need to work on that back plug. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is take the entire steering wheel off. Before we do that, we'll want to take these wires out of the clip that they're sitting in the bottom. That way we can pull the steering wheel out completely. And then you're going to want to take, if you have one, an impact wrench with an extension and a 19mm socket. If you don't have an impact wrench, you can also use a regular socket wrench. Just make sure that you get one that's large enough to put enough torque on the bolt. And you'll also want to hold onto the steering wheel so the steering wheel doesn't spin. So we'll go ahead and put the socket there on the center nut. Comes off real easy. And with that out of the way, we should be able to remove the whole steering wheel out of the assembly, being careful not to put too much pressure on the wires here. So now we have everything removed from the car. Having the steering wheel removed from the car will make getting to some of these other bolts a little bit easier. At this point, there's really only 4 more bolts that we need to undo to take off the rest of the plastic and things. So first we're going to have these 2 Torx or star bits right here. For those, I can just use a T40. Be able to unscrew them. And when you remove those out, this piece right here, this metal piece, is going to end up popping forward. This is because it essentially is spring-loaded to push your horn back up. So all you need to do is pull it up to be able to get it to slide out of the little slit that it's sitting in. You can set that aside. And then the only other thing we need to remove from the steering wheel is this piece of plastic and this little metal counterweight. So we'll start with the counterweight there. For that, you're just going to take a typical Phillips piece, and then you'll just remove the 2 screws that hold it in place. Set those aside. We'll remove that counterweight there. This is just to kind of keep the steering wheel balanced. And then the only other thing we need to remove is this plastic outer cover. There are a total of like 4 clips that kind of hold it on the outside edge over here. I found the easiest way to do these is if you do them one side at a time, you press them away and then push the entire piece of plastic out. Same with this side, push those clips away from the metal, pull the steering wheel out, and then there we go. So this is the old steering wheel now that we'll go ahead and remove. And here is the new steering wheel that we'll be replacing it with. Before I install it and put all the plastics on it, of course I want to get that bolt that I lost from earlier. Take that out of the way, that way I can reinstall that bolt later. And then we'll take the new steering wheel and seat it inside that piece of plastic there. And try and get those plastic tabs to line up with the steering wheel. And then I'm just going to press down on the steering wheel or on the back of the plastic to get those clips to secure properly. So there we go. And at this point, you're pretty much just reversing all the steps that you took to take the old steering wheel off. So we're going to go and install the counterweight back into place. We'll also install this plate for the horn. And then we'll just follow all the steps in reverse order to get the steering wheel reinstalled back into the car. And that covers the installation of the steering wheel. Now I want to give you guys a quick review, having owned this for a couple of weeks now on the car. And first impressions, this steering wheel is really beautiful. It gives the car a much more updated look. It doesn't look like it was designed in 2008 anymore. The carbon fiber is almost perfect. I can't find any imperfections in the weave. There aren't any seams to speak of. The fact that he was able to do it in honeycomb as well was one of the big selling points for me. I really wanted to get a carbon fiber steering wheel that would match the rest of the honeycomb pattern that I've been sticking with, and he was able to deliver on that beautifully. The thumb grips, I think, also add a little something extra to the look of the steering wheel. It just gives it a slightly, I guess, sportier look. Really love those. And the white leather looks great. It's not the most premium feeling leather in the world, and the stitching could use, I think, a bit of work. But overall, the fact that he was able to do the white leather and the look of it itself, it's just, I really like it. Could not ask for anything more for the price range too. This steering wheel only cost me about $550, but as I said, if you don't go for all the thumb grip options and the honeycomb carbon fiber, you can get the steering wheel as low as something like $450. Now, if you guys are gonna get a steering wheel for your car, the only thing I would recommend is stay away from white leather. I decided to go with white because I really want to do a white interior, but white leather or white suede, as we have seen, gets dirty really easily. And you'll notice I'm starting to wear gloves now whenever I'm driving. That's to try and keep the oil from my hands off of the steering wheel. I know these may seem a little bit unnecessary, but they're really comfortable and it helps a lot with the thumb grips. So the only major complaint I have about this steering wheel is the fact that at the 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock position where you would normally put your hands, those thumb grips, the area where your thumbs are supposed to go, is really thin, and I have fairly large hands, so having gloves kind of helps with that. But I find myself more often than not moving my hands up further along the steering wheel or holding it from down below just because it is a little bit more comfortable for me to hold it there. But if you guys are looking for a steering wheel, because of the customizations, because of the price point, because of the quality that you get for the price, I don't think there is a better steering wheel out there right now for the Z. And that is it for this video, guys. Thank you once again for watching. And if you're interested in getting a steering wheel for your car, you can find him on Instagram or on Facebook. Private message him and he'll start working with you to get a quote and figure out what types of customizations and options you want on your steering wheel. Really affordable price, good quality. I'm not sponsored by him. I'm just giving my honest opinion. These are really good value steering wheels. I highly recommend them. So thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Later.